Welcome to the Brass and Woodwind Shop. I have a trumpet with a lot of dents in the knuckles. The knuckles are the small tubes that come out of the casings, and on the other side there are a few here too. This trumpet has several dents in the knuckles. There's one there, a few smaller ones there, and there's a larger one, and a couple others. On brass instruments, not all the metal is the same strength. There is some metal that is very hard and some metal that is very soft. The knuckles are a very soft metal, and that is why they get a lot of dents in them, but it also makes the dents a lot easier to remove. Here are some of the tools you'll need to do the job. This is a lead pipe mandrel, and it's threaded on the end, and you put these dent balls on there, and you push the dent out with the dent ball. There's the threaded lead pipe mandrel, which works on lead pipes, but it also works if you can get at the dent through one of the tubes. In this trumpet, there are some small dents in this knuckle. You cannot get at it with the lead pipe mandrel, so there are some other mandrels to use for that. This is a set of knuckle dent rods, and there are 5 different shapes at the end. Usually for trumpets, you will use this one. And this has a larger radius, which you can use on tubas, but you use whatever you need to be able to get at where the dent is. This is a set of dent balls, and they have different sizes of threading that you use for different rods. For these small rods, you use one of these 3 small dent balls. These are the 2 most common tools that you will use for this job, along with one of these dent balls. For removing knuckle dents, usually you will use the middle one. And you take it and put it on the tool. Start with the lead pipe mandrel and get all the dents you can with this tool, and then the ones you cannot get with this one, use the knuckle dent rod. Start by putting the rod into the vise. This tool does not work on this knuckle because the bell gets in the way, but it does work on this knuckle. There's the dent that I'm going to remove, and the dent ball is right underneath it. With this hand I'm going to push down, and the other hand I'm using that as leverage. I'm holding onto the rod, and also I'm keeping the rod from doing any damage to the rest of the instrument. So I'm going to push down on it, and I'm using a little bit of pressure, not as much pressure as I would use on other dents, but I'm using some pressure. And I'm trying to follow the line of the dent. And there's another dent right there closer to the casing. And I'm going to push that out. There it goes. Now I'm going to turn the trumpet over, and there's a dent right there. And I'm going to use the same tool and same setup. There it is. And I'm following the dent with the dent rod, and there's another dent there and another one there, so I'm going to push those out. There they are. Those ones just popped right out, so those dents are done also. There is one more right here. I'm lining up the dent ball right underneath the dent, and there I'm pushing it out. There's also a dent in the second valve knuckle. Usually I would get it out with this tool, but to demonstrate how to use the knuckle dent rods, I'm going to pull that out with a knuckle dent rod. You may have noticed this tool moving, and it does have some flexibility when you're using it. This tool is called a wooden assembly mandrel, and I'm going to use that to hold the trumpet while I'm working on it. And you need the valves removed to do this job. You put this tool in the bottom of the casing. You also need to be careful to not scratch the inside of the casing or ruin the threads that are at the bottom of the casing. There is a tool that you can thread onto the bottom of the casing to protect it, but if you're careful, you will not damage it. With this hand, I hold and I work the tool. With my other hand, I make sure that the rod stays in the middle of the casing. I do not want it to hit the threads or to damage the inside of the casing. I hold it with this hand, and then I find where the dent is, and I push, and I'm careful not to use the inside of the casing as leverage. If you take this tool and just turn it, you will get the dent out, but you will also cause damage inside. What you want to do is use this hand to hold tightly onto it and keep it from hitting the side of the casing or the bottom of the threads. You turn the tool to use the leverage to get the dent out, but you rotate it on your hand and not on the inside of the casing. So I'm going to do that now. I'm under the dent and I'm rotating it. And the dent is out. The noise you heard was just the trumpet rotating a little bit on the wooden mandrel. It was not the tool making that noise. Now there's just one more set of dents to get. I'm going to turn the trumpet over and we'll get those dents out. There are 3 small dents on this knuckle, and those should come right out. Again, put it in there and be careful not to scratch the inside of the casing. And you can see the metal move as you do this, so that's how you know where the dent ball is. There, that should do it. All 3 dents are out. I hope this video has been helpful. Look in the description below for links to where you can buy these tools.